Sweet the whispers in your ear whenever ember wanders near.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Yes. This is something I think you guys are gonna love. All right. I do think that I do think this is gonna be a good one to conclude on because we're concluding with The Boys. All right. We are gonna finish off with the video from The Boys. Always a good time. More than that, I'm guessing Nick explaining why romance movies are a scam. I am intrigued because while I'm not a huge fan of romance movies, I do like some romance movies. I'm kind of curious where the logic is coming from in regards to romance movies. So let's take a look and see why romance movies are actually a scam.
They were talking about like that new chick flick movie, and I just went on a rant about how every chick flick, the underlying tone is like, wouldn't it be so romantic if I cheated on my husband? It's every chick
found
flick
my
under
real
the sun.
love.
Yeah, every.
Okay. And fuck. Oh, I'm gonna go. Okay. Do I want to let this play? I'm gonna let it play. I have my own rant about this. Maria, thank you for the raid. Welcome in, raiders. Welcome in, everyone. How was your stream? Did you have a good stream, I hope? Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. Okay, Maria, you may like this one. You in your chat may actually like this one. I'm actually going to rewind it back to the beginning. This is... we were just about to start a video about how romance movies are a scam. So this may or may not be something that you guys might be interested in. So if you want to stick around and listen to some baby conspiracy theories, maybe some truth, stick around because I have my own opinion about this.
They were talking about like that new chick flick movie, and I just went on a rant about how every chick flick, the underlying tone is like, wouldn't it be so romantic if I cheated on my husbund? It's every chick
found
flick
my
under
real
the sun.
love.
Yeah, every time.
Every.
Have you
like,
seen-
what's it called?
For a lot of
What's
them.
the big love one.
I mean, think about Sleepless in Seattle. What is the basic concept of Sleepless in Seattle? How many of you guys have seen it? How many of you guys remember what the basic plot line of it was? Okay? The Notebook was about her cheating. I never saw The Notebook, but honestly, that's basically Sleepless in Seattle too. For those of you who've never seen it, Sleepless in Seattle, an old Tom Hanks, Meg Ryan movie, with the entire concept of it is that Meg Ryan was engaged. She was engaged to, I forget what the character's name, I forget their character's names, but she was engaged, the actor playing her fiance was Greg Kinnear, and she was engaged to Greg Kinnear. And they were like perfect together. They were like perfectly in sync. Yeah, her, like Meg Ryan and Greg Kinnear, their characters were like perfectly, was it Bill Pullman? Maybe it was Bill Pullman. I thought it was Greg Kinnear. I could be wrong. Maybe it was Bill Pullman. But like well, Greg Kinnear was Zugat Okay, and that's again, it's another Meg Ryan Tom Hanks movie. Easy to confuse them because they got so fucking typecast back then. But she was engaged to Bill Pullman in Sleepless in Seattle, and the entire concept of it was like Meg Ryan and Bill Pullman were perfect for each other. They were perfectly in sync with one another when they were there was a scene I remember where they were like picking up China patterns, and like they both agreed on the same China pattern for the exact same reasons, and they worked so great together. And then Meg Ryan listens to a radio show where Tom Hanks's character, who is in Seattle, by the way, they're not even, I can't remember if they were even in the same fucking state. Tom Hanks is a single dad, his wife had died, and his son had called up like a radio show. That was like, it was a call-in radio show where they like, lonely men would like call in and like tell their stories or something like that. And Tom Hanks' son calls into it and gets on the air and hands the phone off to has the phone off to his dad, which is Tom Hanks. And Tom Hanks basically gives his, I don't want to call it a sob story because that's being disingenuous to it. Like Tom Hanks basically told his story about how, he had fallen in love with his wife and that his wife had passed away. I forget why, probably from cancer because it was always cancer back then. And just basically be very endearing. Like Tom Hanks's character story was very endearing. It was, in talking about how, his wife was the love of his life. They had their child, and then he lost him and his son lost her. And it was honestly, it was like that. His backstory was very touching. And Meg Ryan hears it on the radio, and then when she hears his story on the radio, she can't stop thinking about him, and she basically falls in love with him from that one instance on the radio show. That one instance basically falls in love with him, throws away her entire fucking relationship with this guy who is like perfect for her, for a guy that she heard on the radio. And that's the entirety of the movie is the entirety of the movie is about her. Yeah, she falls in love with the idea of him. Exactly. And I'm going to be getting to that later. The entirety of the movie is her basically falling in love with the idea of Tom Hanks based on his one appearance on this radio show, and how throughout the course of the movie, she's falling out of love with her fiance because he's, quote, too perfect. And her fiance, the cuckboy that he is like, I understand. Like he ends up being like, what? Why? And then goes, I understand. Like it is the ultimate fucking cuckery, and it's marketed as being sweet and romantic when it's anything fucking but. It was like it basically poisoned the minds of women back in like the 90s of, oh, this is true love. When it's not. It was the exact fucking opposite. That's it. And like that's my whole fucking rant on Sleepless in Seattle. But I have more to say about this entire genre, but I'm going to hold on to it because we're only 16 seconds into this.
The main love
Literally
movie ever
all of
looked.
them.
Notebook. The Notebook.
Notebook, though. Notebook is terrible toxic relationship.
And, well, they're always like, oh my God, don't you want to watch this romance movie with me? No, it's a horror movie to every, like, name a romance movie that chicks are. Sweet Home Alabama. Engaged, goes home and fucks her boyfriend from high school. Titanic. Woman gets married, has a happy life with a husband for 50 years, raises 4 kids. He dies. She goes and flicks her bean, reminiscing about that time the poor guy painted her on a couch on a boat before they met. Like every fucking story. No, there's
Nana's a whore.
Yeah, well, the new one with Miles Teller is awful.
Oh my God, dude, thank you.
What is
oh
this?
my God.
What?
I was like,
Dude,
what?
that whole movie, I was
What?
losing my mind. I was like, this is so
Miles
stupid.
Teller.
What's the name of the movie? Describe it.
I think it's called Eternity or Forever or something. Basically,
Have no idea. I've never even heard of this. Granted, I know very little about movies that are coming out because I think all modern Hollywood movies are dog shit. But I just want to say, wait, is this Miles Teller? This has got to be Miles Teller. It doesn't look like him. That doesn't look like Miles Teller. Whoever did this movie poster did a shit job of making Miles Teller look like Miles Teller. It doesn't look like him.
Miles Teller and the Scarlet Witch from Marvel. You know who that is? The actress.
Yeah. Yes.
The Olsen, not
the Olsen sister.
Yeah, the Olsen sister. So
her boobs are in
Eternity.
Her boobs are in Eternity also?
Really?
Yeah. Wait. Is it PG or R? I can't even remember.
I'm sorry.
PG-13. No titties in that one.
anyways, basically the movie starts as them as like an 80-year-old couple, and they've they're going to the kid. They have like 4 kids together, yada yada yada. Grandpa dies. A couple days later, mom dies. And when you die, you show up at this like train station, airport type situation. And once you get there,
Gee, somebody saw Matrix. The train station limbo on your way to the afterlife. Yeah, someone saw fucking Matrix.
You basically have to go through like this humongous convention like SHOT Show, and all the booths are different versions of heaven. So there's like art heaven, museum heaven, gun heaven, Marxist heaven, capitalist world, all these different versions of heaven, and you have to pick which version of heaven you want to go to, and then you go there and you're there forever. That's the concept of the movie, right?
It's purgatory, and you get to decide in a couple days if you want to go or not.
Where you
Titty
wanna
heaven
spend
must be Titty heaven must be really busy.
Yeah, they probably have it. Dude, they have, Nick's not joking, they have like every
Yeah,
heaven
they had
possible.
like Mission to Mars heaven, fucking Paris heaven, like every heaven you could imagine.
Yeah.
But so they both
Wait, but that okay? Going off topic. I know you're shocked. That very concept is contradictory to the very concept of heaven in and of itself. By making you choose which version of heaven you're going to, you're actually contradicting the very concept of heaven. Because the entire concept of heaven is it is literally just like everything is wonderful, everything is beautiful. And you know, all of your dreams can come true, and you're eternally happy and at peace. Like heaven is literally like what Nick just described with this video. It's like, oh, you can choose what kind of heaven. Whereas the actual concept of heaven is you would have all of those things available to you whenever you want for the remainder of eternity. So this movie literally fucked up the concept of heaven. They literally screwed this up so bad that they screwed up the very concept of heaven itself. How do you fuck up that badly? Heaven is the simplest fucking concept in the world. Everything you ever want, everything you have ever wanted, everything you may ever want, the eternal peace and happiness. And they fucked that up by saying, pick one. You have to be a special kind of stupid to fuck this most basic concept up.
die within days of each other. They meet at the train station, and they're kind of like bickering back and forth about which heaven they want to go to forever. And it turns out,
See, exactly. What? Heaven should not involve bickering. There should be no bickering. It should be the couple, it should be the two of them have died. They are going to heaven together, and now they will find eternal peace and happiness in heaven together. If they're going to heaven in the first place, there should be no bickering. Period.
that the wife, who's been married to this guy for 50 years, they have 4 kids together. Well, her boyfriend from when she was 19 that went off and died in the Korean War has been waiting for her at the train station for 60 years. And now
Fuck.
Miles Teller has to compete with her boyfriend from when she was 19 to
the
decide if
fuck?
she's going to go spend eternity with him or with the husband that she built a life and had kids with.
Okay, this is Hollywood. This is modern fucking Hollywood. Fuck actual happiness. Forget the fact that these two have had 50 years together, and that her 19-year-old boyfriend, who she probably spent like maybe a summer with, or maybe for high school years with. Now her husband of 50 years has to compete with the boyfriend she had for a couple years. What the hell? See, the reality is if this insane situation actually occurred, there would be no competition. It's like, what? Only dumbass Hollywood could come up with this stupid of a concept. Only modern day Hollywood could come up with a story like this, where it effectively destroys the entire concept of love itself. That's basically what this movie sounds like. Is Hollywood literally trying to say, "Oh, love doesn't actually exist. Everything you know from your life experiences regarding love is a lie." We, of course, because we're the Hollywood elite, and we basically just spend our lives getting drunk or high, raping our assistants, getting into car crashes and dying in fiery deaths, or overdosing on illegal drugs. We know about love so much better than you stupid plebs who you're working at a 9 to 5 job and barely scraping by. Ha! What abject losers. No, you need to look to us to know how to actually live a true life of love. Oh yeah. Fucking hell, this is so incredibly it's stupid and insulting.
For 60 fucking years. You'll never guess which one she picks.
I hope
The
it's a
1940s.
19-year-old because that man got
Of
off
course.
easy.
Oh,
course.
fucking hell.
He's like
of
50
course.
years, and she's gonna pick the 19-year-old. Fuck her. Titty heaven. Ticket for one.
I do
Yeah.
like Miles Teller. They're like, okay, he waited a couple days, and he's like, she'll know that we're going to beach heaven or whatever ones they chose. I'll see her there. Just let her know. So he just like he's piecing out,
Oh my
and he's about to
god.
hop on the train. He can't come back, and he just hopes she shows up there. And that's when they run into each other, and then that's like part of the plot story of you were
Oh
gonna
my
leave me,
God.
and this guy waited 50 years, and then you had, but again, just.
You waited 50 years in heaven, which is probably the blink of a fucking eye. Oh, he waited for me 50 years. It's heaven. So the concept of space-time does not exist in heaven. So 50 years to her 19-year-old boyfriend who died in the Korean War would have literally been the blink of a fucking eye. He blinked and all of a sudden she's there. Oh, you're dead too. Okay. Like, yeah, this is a horrible story. Absolutely horrible.
So stupid.
There is
This-
one that I've known that's a little different than that, and it's like my wife's favorite like cry movie. Apparently women have cry movies. I didn't know that was a thing. Like when they're feeling emotional and they need to have like a cry. I'm learning, okay? It's called like Me Before You, and basically guy's like a fucking billionaire. He crashes his car, becomes a quadriplegic, and then he hires her as a personal assistant. She like falls in love with him probably because he's rich, and then he's like,
Yup.
yeah,
Wait, who's fucking
I'm
me?
gonna go kill myself now. And like he like goes to
good.
like Norway and does like or somewhere in Northern Europe where it's like you can volunteer to do, assisted or whatever.
Made. Reese, like, as much as people love this shit on Canada for Made, and it is like disgusting what's happening in Canada with that, Canada's not the first country to do it. The countries in Europe were basically doing Made for probably decades before it ever came to Canada. Just be aware of that. But yeah, yeah. And it's like he's a quadriplegic, so I imagine it's probably like he probably is fucking miserable because he knows he will never get better. Yeah, I understand the depression that would come from that and why he would feel that way. Like I am sympathetic to people that are in that kind of situation where they are like a quadriplegic. They can literally can't move, and to be honest, Canadians lied to Ivana is virtually meant for uncurable patients. Yeah, well, and Canadians are not the only ones that were lied to. They've lied to in Europe. They've lied to him as well about the same damn thing. But we're going off track. I don't want to delve into a whole concept of Made both in Canada and the EU. It's all like they're tricking people in both areas, in Canada and in the EU where they do it. They trick people into doing it all the time. It's disgusting. It should be got rid of entirely. But like I get why someone who's a quadriplegic might actually be like, I hate my life and I want to die. Especially if they're quadriplegic from an accident, they are never getting better. They will not live to a point where biomedical technology will get to the point that can give them their life back, effectively speaking. We're nowhere close to that. And I understand the massive levels of depression and wanting to die might come from that. I'm not going to say that he's right in his decision to basically facilitate medically assisted dying. But I understand the thought. I understand the thought and emotion behind it with this particular kind of situation. Like, I understand it. I can't say I approve or disapprove, but I understand why.
Ever. And she's like trying to convince him no, and the whole time he's like, I'm gonna kill myself. Like, this is gonna happen. I'm gonna just go end it. And then like it ends with him doing that. So that's the only other chick flick I've ever seen that's not like that.
Damn.
Are you sure that's
Hey,
not
Rich.
a comedy?
Dude, it's,
Oh, what a rug
Fucking
pull.
Rich.
I'm going to kill myself. No, don't. No, you're so great. I love you. Would you blow me really quickly? Yes. Oh, to stay alive. Yeah. Ha ha, gotcha, bitch.
Here's the funny thing. Even if she was like, oh, I love you or I want to be with you, it's not like he's going to feel anything. One of the greatest joys of being in a relationship is fucking. It's one of the sex is one of the primary reasons why people get into a relationship in the first place. Anybody that says you get into a relationship because of the heart and because you love someone, yeah, sure, that's there. But number one reason why anyone ever gets into a relationship, they want to fuck. Hands down. That is like the number one reason. That's how it starts. Love is there. I'm not downplaying the love, but this is basically human biology. Humans have a hardwired desire to breed, to spread by seed, and to facilitate the population of the planet. So the number one reason why anyone gets into a relationship is fucking. That is the number one reason how a relationship begins is that one party sees the other party and says, I want to fuck that person. That is literally how every relationship begins. And then love comes through it. That, there is love. I'm not downplaying the love, okay? The love is a big thing because if it was all just the fucking, there would be no relationship. That's the thing. So it starts with the sex, and then it morphs into the love along with the
To
sex.
be fair, in the context of this movie they're talking about, the vows do say, till death do us part. So since they're dead, it's kind of a free-for-all.
I still don't buy it. It's like love transcends the marriage vows. Every time. Yeah, every time. If you're gonna say like, oh, my love ends when my vow of marriage has been completed, i.e., till death do us part, then that wasn't love. Point blank. Love transcends mortal vows in a service. Every time. Anybody that says otherwise is full of shit. Okay? Flat out. I don't know what other way I can put that.
Would it be funny if he goes up and he sees like some 19-year-old from like the Korean War? And he's like, hey, you want to go to titty heaven with me? This is going to be great. I can walk now.
I love titty heaven.
dude, speaking of heaven. So, okay. Religious history is kind of like a fucking blank spot for me.
Okay, so they're going to be I want to put this out before if they transition into religious history and come off the romance. Hollywood has destroyed romance. They've destroyed it for decades. And it's one of the reasons why I think the birth rates are down is because Hollywood basically brainwashed the majority of society into mischaracterizing and lying to the public about love and how love works. Because the way Hollywood portrays quote unquote love is not in any way, shape, or form reality. It doesn't work the way Hollywood does it. But because Hollywood has basically crammed this idea down people's throats for literally generations, okay, not just decades, but generations, the Hollywood film industry has poisoned people into thinking what love should be like when it very rarely works out the way Hollywood has shown it. Okay, this like to basically go back to the conversation Intellectual and I had yesterday. You guys remember I was during my conversation with Intellectual, I referenced a graphic novel series called Sunstone. You guys remember when I was talking about that? Because we were having our discussion about BDSM, and it's like, how basically the porn industry has basically fucked up how BDSM actually works in reality with real couples that participate with BDSM, and how the porn industry like beautifies it, and they've psyoped people into not realizing that one BDSM porn video is actually a multitude of takes to get things perfect. So the end result, it looks like a perfect scene when that is not how it actually happens. And I reference Sunstone because Sunstone, while it is a sexy, a sexy BDSM story, it also shows the reality of how this actually happens, how there are many pitfalls and slip ups and reality along the way that the characters actually have to contend with. And it's not all pretty sunshine and rainbows. There's a lot of not necessarily ugliness, but there's a lot of there's a lot of landmines that they step on, that things get like the veneer of of engaging in this kind of relationship gets tarnished. But they, the love still comes through, and they still find happiness with it, even with all the pitfalls, even with all the false starts, things like that. The same thing applies with what Hollywood has done. Hollywood does not show the pitfalls. Hollywood does not show the misunderstandings, some of the incompatibilities, the couples that have to that they butt heads and they have to spend time and work things out. The therapy that they may have to go to, which 9 times out of 10 doesn't actually work because therapists are nothing but enablers these days. Typically enablers for the women that just say, "Oh, men, you just need to fall in line and do what your woman wants to do." But that's a whole different thing entirely. But they are only showing the glossy veneer, which again, just like with porn, Hollywood needs multiple fucking rewrites and retakes to finally come up with that perfect story, with the perfect example of what they think love is, and it's all false. And unfortunately, they have brainwashed generations to think this is what love actually should be like, and it rarely, if ever, works out that way. And it's especially for women. Okay, I will freely admit this is predominantly with women. Is that you see billions with a B of relationships fail because women have this idea in their heads of this is how I think a relationship should go. This is how I think my man should be, how my man should behave, how he should treat me. And because Hollywood has basically programmed women with this false ideology of how romance should be, it has destroyed relationships because, let's be real here, no man can compete with the idealized concept that Hollywood has been cramming down people's throats for generations, and it has destroyed relationships. And when you destroy relationships, what happened? Those destroyed relationships very often don't result in kids, or they result in single parent households, which guess what happens in a single parent household? The kids don't act, there's a strong possibility that the kid is going to grow up in dysfunction and maybe not have a great life because they don't have that 2-parent household of having the balance of mom's caregiving and father's firm but loving discipline to make sure that child learns right in their formative years. When you only have a single parent, you're going to be lacking that, and the child is going to grow up to in a dysfunctional home, and again, and Hollywood is glorifying the single mother now these days. They've been glorifying it for decades too. We're like, oh, single mom, like she don't need no man. She can raise her child, and her child will be brilliant and beautiful and wonderful and perfect. No, it rarely fucking works out like this. I hate the concept of Hollywood romance. like in the romance movies. The Hollywood romance movies have been a massive quotient in why society has become the way it has. It is a big reason why women have become, why we're seeing so many women that are basically treating men like shit because they think I'm a badass girl boss because Hollywood told me I am. And so they treat men like shit, and then they bitch and moan that no man wants to fuck them or even date them. And it's, you know, and it's just, I hate it. I absolutely hate it. Hollywood has had a major hand in destroying society by peddling this false concept of that they're telling women this is what you should aspire to, this is what you should expect things to be like, when the reality is 100% different. And thanks, I fucking hate it.
For me, because I love to learn about history, but religious history, for some reason, all religions that I've ever talked to, they have like this they have a policy of conversion. They think anyone who's curious wants to join their version of religion, right? And so I was just shooting this shit with one of my mods. He's a Canadian guy, and he was telling me, I was curious about, you know, how he grew up and stuff. And he was telling me about Jehovah's Witnesses. Stay with me here. I know there's a ton of jokes about him, but hold on.
Okay.
After he talked to me, he explained that apparently in their view of heaven, there's a finite number of slots in heaven.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had the sudden realization that that is probably the most American religion in history. They created competitive worship. It's capitalism in its purest form. I have to be better than you or else you get my slot. I love it.
I hate to say this. What HLC just said about capitalistic heaven, guys, you know what other religion also has, in HLC's words here, a capitalistic view of heaven? Anyone want to take a guess? Anyone want to take a guess? Yeah. Islam. Yeah. Islam. Look at what, you know, with Islam, you basically have a sliding scale of how devoted you are, or how, you know, how good of a Muslim you are, depending on what you do. Where if you don't do X, Y, or Z, you are, I think the way, and don't quote me on this because I could be mischaracterizing this, and if I am, sorry, I'm trying to go from memory here. It's like a concept of like a mountain. Like your faith is characterized as like a mountain, and like the further you stray from Muhammad, the further down the mountain you go, and your goal is to be at the top of the mountain. And so if you, like, for women, if you don't wear the headscarf, you go way back, you go way down on the mountain. If you have a dog, you lose space on the mountain. Again, it's the same principle. It is like a capitalistic version of religion. You want to be better than the other person, so you are higher on the mountain, so you can get to the heaven, so you can get to heaven, so you can get the 72 versions. Yeah, it's like, it's not the quite, I don't think there's the concept of like limited space. I don't think they have that, but it's literally, you want to be better than the other, so you have a higher position on the mountain, so you get more of a reward when your time finally comes that you go to heaven. It's not exactly insane, but it's also capitalistic in nature in that respect.
I think it's great.
I'm trying to remember that one Asian love movie.
Crazy Asian Love?
It's
Rub
actually
You. By
Or Crazy,
yeah, it's Rub
Crazy
You.
Rich Asians.
Rub You.
It's ROVEU is amazing.
Rub You. It's just called Rub.
Hero.
It might be I love you until the second sun rises.
Damn it! Now I can't.
Credits. Oh God, that was dark. Fucking hell, HLC, that was dark. It made me sick. I love you until the second sun rises. God damn. I'm honestly surprised that the boys did not immediately go, holy shit. Maybe they didn't get it. Maybe they didn't get it. I got it immediately. I was like, oh, fuck me.
I will figure this one out and then send it to you guys because this one, Asian love movie, fantastic. Also, fucking heartbreaking. No one cheats though. There's none of that.
Crazy Rich Asians? Is that the one he's talking
I feel
about?
like that's a very American love story thing. Like I'm pulled in two different directions as a woman and I have to make a choice. My heart or my pocketbook, right? The rich guy or my high school thing.
I better
Feel
them
like-
both first to make sure too. Don't
Yeah.
forget
Well,
that.
yeah.
one.
Well,
That always
Well, that's
fucking
kind of like
happens.
all Hallmark movies. You know, the girl who left and went to the big city, she comes home for Christmas and sees her high school fling and they fall in love. That's literally every Hallmark movie that's ever been made.
God, yes.
I've given this
Oh, yeah.
rant before. Tyler Perry's a fucking G for making his chick flick and convincing a bunch of women to watch it.
one?
Comedy
He's
in
made
its
a few.
purest form. Temptation. Tyler Perry made a chick flick.
No idea.
Presented it and advertised it as a chick flick, and it is straight up a ripoff of a fucking Hallmark movie. It's a young, good-looking black couple that grows up in
Okay.
like southern Georgia out in the boonies, and they move to New York City together. He's going to school to be a pharmacist. She wants to work at, I think it's like a fashion design firm, and she's got an entry-level job there. They move into this tiny
Okay.
little apartment, and they're living life being happy. Well, the female lead is a smoke show, and she's a receptionist for some billionaire that's also a good-looking dude. And he starts hitting
Of course.
on her, and she's like, "No, I'm happily married, and my husband's going to be a pharmacist. No, I'm happily married." And then she starts giving into it, and then she ends up fucking her boss and cheating on her husband. And
Oh.
then the rug
I-
pull from Tyler.
Okay. I think I'm gonna get. I've never seen this movie. I didn't even know it existed. I'm gonna guess the rug pull is she fucks her boss. Husband finds out. Husband says, "Go fuck yourself and kick rocks." Leaves her. She thinks she's gonna get with the businessman, and the businessman goes, "You are a piece of ass. I don't want to have anything to do with you." And basically, she's left alone because she cheated on her husband with a guy that didn't give a shit about her. I guarantee I bet you that's what's going to happen.
Perry comes in. She gets AIDS from the boss. The husband divorces her, opens his pharmacy, and then she has to. The end of the movie is literally her picking up her AIDS medication from his pharmacy, which is across the street from his house, and she has to get it after hours while he's in the front yard playing catch with his son, while his other wife is now watching and she's getting her AIDS medication. It's hilarious.
Jay, that did not go the way I thought it was, but that is fucking based as hell. That is an absolutely based fucking ending. Hell yes. That is Tyler Perry. That is fucking genius of him to do it that way. That is a better rug pull than I thought it was going to be. Amazing.
I've never
It's
even heard of that movie.
The
That's
ultimate
great.
rug
What
pull.
the fuck?
Love it.
I took Hannah to theaters and that Hannah was like, that was a horrible ending. I was laughing maniacally. It was hilarious. I go, that was the best ending ever.
You know what? I get why Nick was. Like, Hannah was like, "Oh, that's horrible. I'm sorry." My point of view is, you fuck around, you're gonna find out. And the wife, she found out in the best fucking way possible. Like, yeah. You want to do that? Yeah, you get what you fucking deserve. You with the wife in that movie, you absolutely get what you fucking deserve. You have a husband, you're supposed to be loyal to your husband. This is someone that you claim to love and want to spend the rest of your life with. You fuck around with some hot billionaire businessman, and you get AIDS. And the husband says, "Cool, I'm out." And you're all alone taking up your AIDS medication from his pharmacy. Yeah, fucking based You get what you fucking deserve, you cheating whore. Absolutely based.
What a dude ending to a movie. Oh, she cheated on me? I hope she gets AIDS. Wait, what?
Jesus
And I get to
Christ.
sell her the medication.
Yeah.
Yes.
How did that do good too?
I don't know. I don't care. It's fantastic. It's pure comedy.
God, I'd never realized just all American love movies are people cheating.
It's
Dude,
the undertone
majority.
of every romance
majority of
film
them, yeah.
made by Hollywood in America is like, think about how good your life could be if you cheated on your
Exactly.
husband.
The grass
It's Eli's about to say it. I was just gonna say it's Hollywood basically makes a living off of the grass is always greener. That's what Eli is just about to say. They have literally made a decades long institution of ladies. The grass is always greener on the other side. So go get that grass.
is always greener.
Yeah, no shit.
That's great. That was great. I like that. Great discussion. Absolutely great discussion. That's something that I had a feeling that's what it was going to be about, and I wanted to talk about it. And I'm glad I got to be able to, because I fucking hate Hollywood. I absolutely hate Hollywood. And I'd love being able to shit on it.